If you want to make $750,000 guaranteed in just 45 minutes, you've come to the right place, because in today's Oscar Guzman Flies Again speedrun guide, I will show you how to complete all of the 5 prep missions plus the Titan job finale in just 45 minutes. And even if you're not a veteran and you're new to this heist, as long as you have the necessary vehicles and weapons, you'll still be able to do it in under an hour, which isn't bad for 750 grand, and you'll also complete the tier 4 challenge requirement for your career progress. Also, you can really tell here that Rockstar really wants you to bring a duo or even trio into this heist, and on top of that, if you blindly follow what the game tells you to do, you'll end up spending twice as long as you need to. But in this guide, I'll give you several skips as well as time-saving tricks that will significantly bring down the time it takes to complete each mission. Okay, to start the speedrun, here's what you'll need to do. First, launch yourself an invite-only lobby and make sure your spawn location is set to your Mackenzie airfield hangar. This way, after each prep mission, even if you're far away, you can quickly teleport back to the office room and start a new one from the computer. The next thing we're going to do is make sure we've got a few key vehicles as well as weapons before we start the Oscar Guzman storyline, because these will significantly reduce the amount of time it takes to complete these prep missions. Once again, the game really messes with you here by giving you all these crappy ATVs and Dune FAVs whenever you start a new mission, but thankfully you can use your personal vehicle, which when you call it in spawns right next to the hangar on the road, and a lot of people don't know this, which is why they end up wasting most of their time. The first vehicle you'll want to check out is of course a fully upgraded Hakuchou drag with all the HSW modifications, and this is going to make your life a whole lot easier as it's the fastest road vehicle in the game for getting from point A to point B. And if you don't have an HSW Hakuchou drag because you're on last gen consoles, there are nice alternatives like the Shitaro, the Shinobi, and Power Surge. And if you're working with a tight budget, I recommend a fully upgraded Batsy 801RR that you can use in place of the Hakuchou drag. The only mission where you won't be using the bike is the Titan job finale, and that's because we actually have a different vehicle that's specifically meant for the finale itself. And that vehicle is the Vigilante, ideally with missile upgrades installed at the MOC. And if you don't have the budget for a Vigilante, no problem at all. You can also choose to use your glitched bulletproof Coquette D5. Rockstar still hasn't patched that at the time of me uploading this video, or you can even feel free to pick up your armored Kuruma or even the free Duke of Death off Warstock. Those will be slower options, of course, compared to the drag bike, but you'll still be able to get that finale done in under 15 minutes, even with an armored Kuruma. I'll explain how this all comes together later in the video when we get to the Titan job finale, but trust me, for right now, having any personal vehicle at all for these prep missions and the finale is way better than following what the game tells you and using what the game gives you. Okay, next we need to talk weapons. For this, you're going to want exactly 3 things here. A heavy sniper Mark II, preferably with explosive rounds, but even if you have regular ammo, it's still fine. A railgun with a full stack of ammo comes in handy. And lastly, we need a heavy revolver Mark II with FMJ rounds equipped, because that is going to make all the difference in the world very soon, as you're about to see. Before we start the first prep mission up and running, there are just 2 more things we need to do. First, you have to make sure that your Hakuchou drag or whatever vehicle you're using is actually equipped and available in free roam. If you're using a different vehicle, just send it back and tell your mechanic to deliver the drag or your vehicle of choice to your location. Then go ahead and save a scuba suit outfit to your character, because we're going to need this for the intel mission. We don't really need it, but it is going to save us some time. Okay, time to begin our speedrun here. Here, you want to make sure that you lock in hard mode for all your preps as well as the finale, because this will give you $750,000 instead of the usual 500k. Hard mode is permanently unlocked once you've done the Oscar Guzman missions for the first time, so if you're doing this first time, you can only make 500k. But you also get a $250,000 bonus for your first time completion, so there's honestly no difference. But jumping into our first prep mission, it's called Up and Running, and for this mission, the game will despawn your Hakuchou drag, which is a bit annoying, but not a deal breaker, because all we have to do is open up our interaction menu and just call our vehicle back in. Then, using the Manchez dirt bike they gave you, drive to your vehicle and use it to get to the transmission tower. You can follow the route on your GPS, but as soon as you get to this turn at the end of the straight road, the one with the green roadside in front of you, just keep driving ahead and slam the brakes so you stop right on top of this hill. Then pull out your heavy sniper, aim for the tower that's on the right side, and pop a few shots at those support structures you see. You're going to want to aim directly at the concrete bases. It will take exactly 5 shots with regular ammo and way less if you have explosive rounds. Then aim at the other concrete pillar, shoot a few times, and job done. We've just saved ourselves an extra few minutes of driving all the way up there, because normally the game expects you to drive there, way to the top of the mountain, shoot the tower supports point blank, and watch the tower fall and then drive away. But you just skipped this and removed all of that extra time. And then what you're going to want to do next is wait for the Streamer 216 to come into your field of view. We need to damage it enough so it drops 4 cargo crates for us, but there's a way to do it without actually following this plane all the way into the desert. And for that, what we're going to do is soften it up a bit with some heavy sniper rounds to the face. And then once it passes by you, get on your Hakucho drag or whatever personal vehicle you're using, switch to your heavy revolver, race along the freeway while popping FMJ rounds at the belly of the plane, and it will give you cargo drops in return. You only need about 11 shots in total before you collect all 4 packages. Make sure to be precise here or else you'll have to veer off the freeway and get into the desert. We all know that the Hakucho drag absolutely sucks off-road, plus it's going to be a waste of your time, but if you're quick, you'll be able to take all 4 packages and make this U-turn right here. Then simply follow this route I'm showing you on screen, and from here you'll be able to get to the buyers. Of course, you can even just shoot down the plane first and get all the crates before you even get on your bike. That's what I do a lot of the time, but my first strategy is actually a little bit faster. But anyways, once you made your delivery, get back on your bike and drive away. The game will then introduce the Titan 250D through a cutscene, but if you play through the heist once, you can skip the cutscene. This will finish our first prep mission, and now we're ready for mission number 2, which is the Mogul setup. We can't use our personal vehicle here, so just do exactly what the game says and climb into the Vellum and then fly all the way to Bantam Canyon Airfield. Some people like to parachute into the base. I think landing the Vellum next to the airstrip and walking into the Mogul is just as viable of an option. Also, you don't have to fight the whole base like Rambo. Of course, if you don't want to, it is fun, but it's going to save you time if you just shoot this one guy who's wiping the plane and then get inside. Then open your interaction menu and keep snacks on the ready because you've just pissed off an entire squad and they're going to start shooting at you. If everything goes well, you'll be able to take off and fly straight towards Oscar, who's standing in a field with a homing launcher, ready to get rid of those pesky enemy fighter planes on your tail. Also, while you're getting chased, you don't have to worry about those missiles. You can literally fly in a straight line towards Oscar and spam your flares. That way, they have a really low cooldown, and as long as you pop them continuously, you won't get tagged by a single missile. Then, once all enemy aircraft are dead, turn around because it's time to bomb some Eberhard bases. There are 5 in total that you need to take out, and the trick here is to fly low enough and hit the bomb button exactly 1 second before your plane flies over the base. Otherwise, you'll overshoot it and you'll have to do a second pass. Remember, the bombs are being shot out of the plane with significant momentum, so they'll keep flying forward, and if you release them exactly on top of your target, they'll just fall 50 or 100 meters ahead of the base. Then, with all 5 bases destroyed, take the Mogul back to Mackenzie Airfield to complete this second mission. Pretty simple, and it shouldn't take you any more than 8 minutes in total. Now, for the third prep mission, which is called Intel, we have 2 phases. One where you pilot a drone to steal the data from the Eberhard servers, and another where you dive into the water to retrieve some cargo from the ocean floor. A lot of people hate this mission because of the diving section, and the loot locations are randomized, which makes it even more annoying, but I've got a few tricks up my sleeve to help you find all 4 pieces of cargo really fast. As always, spawn in your personal vehicle and take it to the drone station. The controls here are really simple, and we've got 4 servers spread out across 3 separate warehouses. Stealth is optional, so don't worry if you get caught. All the enemies here have Stormtrooper aim, and you'll probably be able to finish all 4 hacks before they end up destroying your drone. For the first 2 servers, fly in through the skylight and park your drone next to the green arrow on the ground level. Stare intensely at the server to steal its data, and fly over to the second level where you'll find this guard. Zap him or shoot him with your machine guns. Either way, you won't break stealth. Then steal the data from the second server and fly back out through the roof. Then go to the second warehouse, fly past this guard here and steal the 3rd chunk of data. And for the last warehouse, you can fly in through this window. The server is only a few feet away. Steal the 4th and last chunk of data, then get on your bike and follow the path I'm showing to get to the crash site really fast. Now, once you're there, drive past all the guards, get on one of those sea sharks, and drive to the yellow circle. Just be wary of the real sharks underneath the water and swim all the way to the ocean floor. If you already have your scuba suit pre-equipped, this is great because you don't have to grab the gear from the enemy outpost, and that's going to save you a lot of time. But you can also just grab it in the middle of getting shot, and it won't be that big of a deal. But here is the part where a lot of people get confused because the cargo can spawn in random locations, but it will always be a crate with a red light on top, and it will show up on your minimap if you swim close enough. The way I like to do this is I start at the extreme left side of the yellow circle, the top left part, then I swim towards the right through this ravine, the one with all the seaweeds, and as you can see, I already found my first crate. Then what you're going to want to do is swim past this piece of wreckage, and you'll find a shipping container to your left just a few meters ahead. Here's where I got the second piece of cargo. And then I got lucky with the third crate, which was located right next to that container inside of the seaweeds. And if you don't get it there, check the area right next to this tugboat. And then if you don't find anything there either, check these pipes. If you head right from the pipes, you'll find another shipping container which should have the fourth and final piece of cargo that we need to complete the mission. From here, if you equip the scuba gear, instead of swimming back up to the surface and getting onto your sea shark or even swimming back to shore, you can let yourself get attacked by one of these sharks in the water. Let them damage you until you die, and when you do, quick restart the mission from checkpoint. You'll spawn back on the shore and all 4 crates that you collected will be on a table next to you, which you can pick up and time save that whole segment where you would otherwise have to swim and then drive back to shore. If you didn't equip any scuba gear before you went diving, you can also just stop healing yourself in the water and let yourself drown after you collect the cargo. It works exactly the same. On replays, this is definitely the strategy a player should go for. After this, of course, you'll need to head back to the Mackenzie airfield with all your crates. But don't follow the default GPS route, because I've got a path that's way faster. Here, check this out. First, head towards the main road, but skip right past the bridge and take this hill on the right. Then once you get close to the bridge, cut left towards the road, but instead of driving on the road, we're gonna pass in between these pillars and head straight for the irrigation channel right here. Keep following it until you arrive at this sharp turn. You can't miss it. It's super noticeable with the blue water stream in the middle. Then turn right and follow the blue line until you're back at the airfield. This is much faster than taking roads, and it will save you a whole lot of time on the intel mission. The fourth setup mission, Iron Mule, is often considered one of the most frustrating as well as difficult missions in the Oscar Guzman storyline simply because of how many enemies the game throws at you. These spawn camping aimbots won't let go of you until you're dead, and the only way to lessen your pain is by planting those 4 jammers ASAP, and then causing as much mayhem as possible in the shortest amount of time, so Eberhard calls in their Iron Mules. And the quickest way to do this is by driving up on this high ground here and killing that insurgent gunner before you head into the construction site. If you don't kill him first, he's gonna make your life a living hell. Then start with the farthest jammer point and work your way towards the insurgent from there. Make sure the insurgent jammer is the 4th and last one, and the reason for that is its central location. You see, Eberhard's Iron Mules won't show up until you fill up that destruction meter, and if you plant the last jammer near the insurgent, you'll be placed perfectly between a sea of vehicles and propane tanks that are ready to be blown up, and this is where that railgun is going to come in handy, because you can destroy a vehicle or a propane tank with just one shot, and the same goes for helicopters. Inexperienced players will only go for the choppers that pursue, and that's fine, but you can speed things up significantly by destroying all those cars and gas tanks and green munitions crates. Anything that can be destroyed, destroy it to make that bar go up really fast. And the less time you spend fighting the Eberhard thugs, the better, because they never stop coming. And so obviously this is where that Armored Kuruma, the Duke of Death, or even better, the glitched Coquette D5 will also come in handy. But overall, once the Iron Mules arrive, find the closest one to you, get inside, disable the jammers, and fly away. Forget picking up the insurgent, it's only going to slow you down and waste your time. Go straight back to the Mackenzie airfield and complete this mission. Then in the 5th and final setup mission, we're going to grab some ammo for the Titan 250D from a container ship. This mission starts out pretty simple. You parachute in, get inside that Iron Mule that you just stole, and pick up some containers from the ship. But there's a big problem here. You've got all these armed guards shooting at you, and once that bar at the bottom right of your screen fills up, Eberhard will call in backup, which then forces you to fly low or you'll get blown out of the sky by guided missiles. So here's what we're gonna do. First, we'll grab the bare minimum, which is the ammo, and then haul cheeks back to the objective marker. You can grab the Mogul twin machine gun upgrade, as that will allow you to time save a minute or so in the finale by shooting down the Titan faster, but I don't really find it worth it, as grabbing that upgrade takes about 2 minutes in this mission, or 2 minutes extra, so you'll be adding a minute total worth of time to your speedrun. Because once you have that twin machine gun upgrade, you'll probably be able to take the Titan down in 3 minutes as opposed to 4 minutes. Okay, with all the prep done, it's time for the finale, possibly the longest mission in the entire Oscar Guzman storyline, and the first half of it is the most mindless, brain-dead, on-rails shooting gallery I've ever experienced in GTA Online, because literally all you do is hold your crosshair on the Titan and press fire for 4 continuous minutes, or again 3 if you did the machine gun upgrade. Before you start the mission though, make sure the Vigilante is set as your personal vehicle. Call it in right before you start the finale. That is the most important step of this mission. Also, here's another tip. Forget about shooting down the cruise missiles and enemy aircraft on your tail, even though the game tells you to. Literally, all you have to do is kill these first 2 choppers that are guarding the Titan, and then once that's done, for the next 3 to 4 minutes, keep your machine guns locked onto the big plane and hold down that fire button. It doesn't matter which part of the plane you target, just keep firing and ignore everything coming at you. You'll kill that Titan a whole lot faster than the enemy can kill you. And now comes my secret tip that will significantly speed up this mission. As soon as the Titan gives the Mayday call and you see this cutscene, right after the cutscene ends, jump out of the plane and don't open your parachute. Since we're in hard mode with 0 extra lives, the game will spawn us back at the checkpoint, which is the airfield where the Titan just landed. And would you look at that? We also have a fresh new vigilante parked right next to us. This skip removes the entire process of following the Titan to the airfield, and it spawns our vigilante, which will massacre every enemy soldier and helicopter with its insanely busted homing missiles. You won't even feel a thing by the time you get out and fix the engine, because everyone will already be dead. Then, with the engine fixed, get back in your vigilante and spam some more missiles till Oscar drops the ammo. At this point, there shouldn't be much threat to you, so load the shells as fast as you can. I was able to do it without leaving the animation once, and then I spammed my snacks and flew away with the Titan, easy as pie. Now this next part is all skill based, and I can't really give any other tips other than just keep your targets to your left and fly low. Once you've destroyed the Eberhard MOCs, the game will spawn a Kasaka submarine. Fly in a straight line lengthwise along the submarine and hit it with your 40mm gun. Remember, the 40mm cannon has a really low range, and so you have to be as close to the sub as possible, and you should kill it in about 5 to 6 shots. Then, when you need to take out the train next, you need to be careful of those massive power transmission lines, as one of your plane wings could snag on one of those and blow you to pieces, and you'll have to restart this segment all over again, and that's going to waste time. But after that train's destroyed, the game will ask you to fly back to Mackenzie Airfield. But I've got a quicker means of transportation, if you're really nitpicky over time on this one. And that is death. Simply fly into the ground, blow up the Titan, and it will spawn you back in Sandy Shores Airfield, which is right next to the Mackenzie Airfield, right across the sea. From here, it'll take you about 30 seconds to finish the mission and collect your $750,000. If you did everything right, you'll have finished this speedrun in less than an hour, and with subsequent playthroughs, I am absolutely confident that you can complete this in 45 minutes or less, which makes the Oscar Guzman heist not only one of the best money makers in the game, but also way less difficult than most people think. I personally didn't really enjoy this storyline for my first and even second playthrough, to be honest, but then once I knew how the missions were designed and all the ways to exploit the game to make it faster and speed things up for myself, this is definitely a top 5 activity that I personally like to farm for some mega cash here in GTA Online. And guys, that's it for my Oscar Guzman speedrun guide. If you use the skips and tricks I provided in this video, you'll find out that Oscar Guzman is way better than you thought, and it might even replace Cluckenbell for some of you. I know, the Cluckenbell farm rate is still better for beginners and a lot easier in terms of gameplay, but sometimes we like a little challenge, to keep us on our toes of course. Otherwise, we'd all still be grinding crates 24/7 to be honest. I think Oscar Guzman is also a nice way to fill up that 48-minute cooldown between the Dr. Dre contract, and if you stack this with the VIP contract, you'll be making $1.9 million every hour and 45 minutes, which is not bad at all. And then, maybe you'll be able to afford yourself your very own Titan 250D. Who knows? Actually, on second thought though, don't get the Titan. It's kind of trash now after the recent nerfs and not really worth it for solo players at all. It's kind of ironic how Rockstar created a whole heist to hype up the Titan 250D, and now just 7 months later, they've nerfed the heck out of it to the point where it's not worth the money anymore. But anyways, we're going to be wrapping things up right here. Thank you so much for watching. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new and you want to see more GTA 5 online content just like this. Check me out over on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram, specifically twitch.tv/hazardoushttv for more GTA Online money grinding live streams. It is the GTA 6 waiting room over on there. Hopefully you all have a fantastic day, and I will see you guys in the next GTA Online video. Adios, amigos.